Hey, welcome to Put Me In Coach podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Tedder, and I have a special guest with me today, my good friend, Jumir Middleton, originally from Savannah, Georgia. He's going to give you some other stuff, letting you know exactly where he's from, Cam Park, CPG, all that good stuff. So
Yes, sir.
we're gonna get down to the get down and get my guy on the show. And Jumir, I just want to say thank you for joining me on the show today. Hey, before I get started, I definitely have to bring a big shout out to my guy, Ben Butler. He owns BAM Apparel, which is Beyond Average Mentality. He actually did this shirt for me. It says "Put Me In Coach Podcast." I hope to get that sold as a actually some merchandise in the future. So
Yeah.
I want to say a big shout out to Ben Butler for putting this shirt together for me for my show. So, but Jumir, it's good to see you, my brother, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up out there? I'm
Hey,
Coach
you know it.
Jumir Middleton.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Coach Jumir Middleton here. I'm a man of many hats. I'm a full-time daddy. Yes, sir. I'm a coach. I'm the son of an angel on earth, Miss Sharon Chisholm. I
Big
am
shout out to Miss
the
Chisholm.
Clyde. Yes, sir. I am the Clyde to my Bonnie, a.k.a. Miami Finest, a.k.a. Big Roe Davis, the fixer. She
Okay,
fixed everything when it's messed up.
and I'm gonna
Yes,
tell
sir.
you
I
right
am a
now, she did her
yeah.
job last night by fixing this. Correct?
Yes, sir. One other thing, I am a substitute teacher in the Atlanta metro area. I work in the
Uh-huh.
healthcare field. I am a graduate of Saul C. Johnson High School and Savannah State University. I am C. Pope to the bone gristle. Caton Home Housing Project Raised, 44th through 53rd Can Park Made. And last but not least, I am the first student of today's host, Coach Thomas Tedder.
That
Let's
is
get it.
correct. That is correct. And I'm gonna tell you right now, CPG in the house for sure. I mean,
Yes, sir.
Jumir was always a real one when I first met him, and just a little history about when we met. I had actually moved to Savannah in 2011, and I actually saw a game that Jumir was coaching in at South Effingham, and you guys ended up losing that game. But I told myself I could coach for that team,
Yeah.
and a year later, I actually got the defensive coordinator job. And I remember meeting Jumir. We met at Coach's Corner in
Yep.
Thunderbolt, right? And I'll never
We
forget.
used to
Like
have
I
all
said,
our
"Oh, yeah,
coaches' meetings.
that's right." And I remember saying, "Yeah, I didn't got myself a real one right here. This guy he's going to be able to help me out a lot." And I think we really just connected at the very start of our meeting. I mean, that's one thing I can say about our chemistry. We definitely had chemistry when it came to that football stuff, and I think everything
Yeah.
just worked out. What do you think about that?
Yes, sir. Coach Baldwin saw that too. I remember before I met you, I remember Coach Baldwin coming to me. I think he had a little, thought I had an ill feeling or something about him bringing in a DC and not promoting me to DC because the
Mm,
year before you came, I was the DB coach and Baldwin was the head coach and the D coordinator. But
okay, yeah,
our last two games of the season, he let me be the DC. So
okay,
during that off season, when he hired you, he brought you on and he came to me. He was like, "Man, I'm gonna bring in a DC. You gonna love him and you gonna learn a lot from him." He talking about, "I just want you to, come up under him and
yeah,
look at this history."
yeah. And I got really we got to really say big shout. There's a lot of people we got to give a lot of shout outs to. Baldwin's got to
Yeah,
be at the top of the list. I mean, God
yeah,
rest his soul, but I mean, Baldwin was a straight dude, and that shirt that you got on is just awesome. Ball for
yes, sir.
Baldwin, I mean, that's just
Yes, sir.
can't say too much about
My
that man.
God.
That guy was a great man, great coach. Just really admired Jamie and everything that he did, and I can honestly say that we miss him. What other
Yeah,
coaches we
my
had on that
brother from
staff?
another.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Conyers there. Big shout out to Coach Conyers.
Yeah, big Coach Khan.
Um,
He's my OG.
yeah,
Had Coach Check on the defensive line. Yeah,
Coach
one of your other students.
Chester. That's right, Chet, Big Chet. We had
My guy Big
Santana.
Groove. Oh
Yeah,
yes, the
Dexter. Dexter.
cameraman
That's
Santana, the
right.
cameraman.
The
Hey, Big
Santana,
Groove, baby, what's
Dexter.
up, Big Groove?
That's right,
Big Dex,
Dexter.
the man that write
Dexter
the
Williams.
checks.
That's right. Matter of fact, Dexter's the one that actually told me about the job, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens." And then
Yeah, because
it,
both of y'all was at Islands
yeah,
High School,
exactly.
teaching together.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah,
doing ISS that year, so
yeah,
and everything just worked out. Big Isaac Scott with that joker right
yeah.
there.
Big Coach Scott. Yes, sir.
Isaac Scott is one of one for sure. You know what I'm trying to say? One of
Yeah,
one.
yeah. He
I
lost his
love
wife
that
last
dude.
year too, man.
Yeah, I
Coach
heard,
Scott lost his
man.
wife last year. Sorry about
I'm
that.
sorry to hear that. Yeah, it just I don't know. He was just a good dude, just a really good
Yeah.
dude. But all right. Well, let's go ahead and get involved in our discussion. I said, Coach, take us back to your early days at Johnson because if I'm not mistaken, you played at Johnson and was a star at Johnson. So let's talk about that to start off.
Yeah, man. A couple of them plaques up there from when I was a player at Johnson, them orange and blue plaques you see right there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's back then. It was hard to come in high school and start as a freshman.
Okay.
We had a big class. My class, we had probably like 30 something freshmen come in, and I was the only freshman to start varsity. But I started at free
Oh,
safety as a freshman,
oh
and then
wow.
my sophomore, junior, senior year, I started at quarterback. But I
Okay.
took off. My junior and the senior year was explosive. That's when all the recognition came. I was highly recruited by Georgia Southern at the
Okay.
quarterback position when Paul Johnson was the head coach at Georgia Southern.
Running that flex bone. Mm-hmm.
Running the
Yep.
flex triple option. I was the second coming to Greg Hill. Greg Hill was the
Yeah.
quarterback at Georgia Southern back then.
I actually met
And
Greg Hill one time at Applebee's one time. But go ahead. I'm gonna cut you off.
yeah, we was like that office we was running at Johnson back then was like the baby Georgia Southern,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
And I remember when I got there, that's all they talked about. Jumir running the ball and he would ride that thing in there with the fullback and pull that
Yeah.
thing and just be gone. But I mean that's what option football is about. And I know one thing, defensively, you got to be sound to stopping that stuff. I
Yeah.
I found out as a D coordinator recently that Jumir, I don't know how you feel about this, but let me get your idea. But I feel like you cannot teach option the week of. What do you think about that? Do you agree or disagree?
You talk about defensively
Yeah, defensively.
with scheming against. Yeah, it's hard. Get what I love defending it because I ran it.
Yeah,
So I know you have to give the quarterback a lot of false reads.
yeah.
Because if
And
I
you got to
always
change up the
tell,
look. You got to change
yeah,
up the look too.
if that quarterback know who his dive read is and his pitch read is, he gonna kill you, coach. You got
Yeah,
to give him a false read and mess with his mind. That's how you
yeah.
defend that option, really.
You remember that New Hampshire game?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
I was like, man, guys ain't changing nothing up, man. Like, what the hell?
yeah. That's when y'all
But
came up here and played Stockbridge. That's actually when you
yeah,
met the missus for the
yeah,
first
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she was
yeah,
at that game,
yeah,
Stockbridge in New Hampshire. Yep.
yeah. So I mean, again, Jumir started off Johnson as being the guy, uh, so to speak, and then
Yes, sir.
eventually he got into coaching. So who inspired you to get into coaching, and what lessons from those years still influence you today?
Oh man, two of my OGs, two of my mentors. One being my godfather, Coach Prince Johnson. He inspired me to get into coaching.
Okay,
We was working together at National Linen, like a linen warehouse, linen plant. He was the plant manager, and
okay,
I was playing semi-pro ball, and I was at the tail end of my career of playing. And I told him I was done playing. He invited me out. He was like, "Man, how about you come on Tatumville Park and help me and Lil Prince, his son Prince Johnson. Lil Prince Johnson used to played former running back at Beach High, Prince of the
Okay.
City.
Okay.
We used to, he invited me out, coached the 10 and under for the GVD Saints in Tatumville. And I was under his tutelage for about 2 or 3 years on the defensive side until he gave me the keys to the whole age group myself. And I
Okay.
became the head coach and the OC. And while
Oh,
being the OC, I used to go back and visit my OG Coach Conyers at
okay.
Johnson High just to get ideas of offensive packages and offensive plays. And I used to take that back to my team. And while doing that, Coach Conyers inspired me to move up to coach at the high school level. So my lessons I take with me from back then, I say, was a relentless work ethic what Coach Conyers and Coach Prince instilled in me. Work ethic
Okay.
and discipline.
Yeah.
Showing up when you don't want to show up, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah. And my thing is that's one thing that we got to teach our kids now. Like, listen, man, nothing's just going to be given to you. You've got to earn stuff, which means you're gonna have to have some sacrifice too, as far as
Yeah.
getting the things that you want in life. I mean, in life, it's just not just going to be given to you. You got to earn it, if that makes sense. But I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
Coach Conyers. One thing I can say about Coach Conyers, he's definitely one of those guys. He was a hardworking guy when we were there. I remember later in when I was coaching in New Hampstead, Conyers was still helping me out on some stuff. Just being
Yeah.
upstairs in the box and giving me some ideas and telling me what I needed to do and things of that nature. But he's definitely been a very instrumental part of my coaching career as well as yours. So,
Yes, sir.
but yeah, definitely. I mean, let me ask you this question. Uh, you and I worked together on the defensive side of the ball, and we did that in I think 12. And if I'm not mistaken, Jumir, we had some dudes over there on the defensive side. Um,
Yeah.
we got big Papa Butler up front, and I still can't remember that guy we had at defensive end. Who was that? Just built like a
I can't.
darn
Yeah, that was
Trojan
one of
horse.
Baldwin's favorites too. I can't think of get what I see his
I can't
face.
think.
I actually
I see
saw
his
his face
face.
on the
Yeah,
damn Chatham County website a couple weeks ago. I know who you talking about.
yeah. Like
What is Daryl? Daryl Walker.
Daryl Walker. That's his name. Yes, sir.
That's it,
Great player.
Daryl.
And I just he'd give you that crazy look, but he found ways to get the job done, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who else did we
Then you
had?
can't forget about
John
John
Doe.
Doe,
Yeah, John Doe, Mike linebacker, along with Walla,
Reggie Thorpe, and Aaron
Reggie Thorpe.
Walker.
That's right. Yep, and Aaron Walker. And then you
And
have
I had that killer secondary with my
yeah,
boy Dushard and Kinlaw,
Bouchard, Kinlaw.
Ricky Rose,
That's
Shaquem
right,
Ross,
Shaquem Ross, and geez, I
Coop.
mean Coop. That's right. I forgot about Coop.
And
Yeah.
Coop actually coaching at Johnson now, I believe.
Oh, okay, okay. The one
Yeah,
we
I
coached.
think Coop.
I know Christian. I
Yeah,
saw
Raekwon
Christian.
Cooper.
I see Christian doing like
Little training.
agility work with the young kids. And I think
Yeah,
that's
I see
pretty
that
cool.
too.
But again, I think that's a credit to what we had at Johnson at that time. I thought we really we invested a lot of time in them kids, and you're starting to see the fruits of our labor because these kids are doing the same thing as far as giving back and training the young
Yeah.
generation. And I think that's what needs to be done at that point. But getting back to the question, you and I worked together on the defense side of the ball for several years. How would you describe your defensive philosophy and how has it evolved over your coaching career, especially after you left Savannah and moved on to Rockdale in the Atlanta area?
Yeah. Yeah, my philosophy is we're gonna play fast and physical, be very aggressive. No big plays, stop the run, pressure the QB, technique oriented.
Yeah,
Now, technique from the D line mainly, especially. I'm big on technique from the defensive line. We're gonna stimulate the O line, if not dominate the O line, give our linebackers a chance to flow, make a lot of plays. And I evolved mostly by talking with you over the years too and learning to keep things simple.
yeah, Keep it simple, stupid.
Easy,
Yeah.
simple, stupid. I don't want them to think. I want their O-line to think, but I don't want my
Right.
guys to do a lot of thinking.
You know, I don't mean to
Keep
cut
it
you off
simple.
real quick, Jameer, but I've
Yeah.
heard a coach, and I'm just going off of what I've heard recently about some coaches. There are some coaches who feel that they need at the high school level to coach kids college concepts. And I kind of felt to myself, why are we teaching college concepts at the high school level when they're in high school? Does that make sense? Like, to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
keep it simple so they don't have to think and they can just go. Like, how do you feel
Yep.
about
Yep.
coaching as far as coaching the high school game compared to the college game? Do you think that needs to be just simplistic, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm big on keeping it simple because the simpler it is, they're gonna play faster.
I
When
agree.
they gotta, yeah, when you gotta think, they're gonna be a step or two behind.
That's right.
So I like to put it in their mind, just go, just react. Cause defense all about reading, and then
Exactly.
react. Read your
Exactly.
key and react. All that thinking with these plays and different calls, man, that's a
Yeah.
little too much. They're gonna teach that when they get to college. They're gonna teach them that.
Exactly. I totally agree. I just feel like at the college level, that's the job because the time is a little bit different in high school than it is in college, if that makes sense. So I mean,
Yeah,
in college, you're gonna have some classes in the morning, and you got the rest of the day to just work on football. But
right,
in high school, it's like high school, I got 2.5 hours to get what I need to get done, and then we got to play a game on Friday night. So I don't have
right.
time to teach college concepts. I have enough time to teach you where to go, and that's just how it's got to be. But I mean, I had to get your idea on how you felt about the college concepts. But how has your defensive philosophy changed over the year, especially coming from Savannah and then when you moved up to Rockdale? Has it changed or?
Uh, it changed a little with my alignment actually with the D line. I wasn't a fan of D linemen being head up until I got up here to rock there. Me and Coach Baldwin used to bump heads with that. I used to like the one tech, the three, and my 2 5s. And Baldwin always say those easy down blocks. And he sold me on lining them head up in 2 2s, 2 4s, or if we're in a 3-man front, that's zero in your 2 4, 2 4s. And he was like, that offensive linemen don't know where they're going.
Yeah,
They don't know if they're going slanting left, slanting right, or coming about the bull rush them. It put thought in the old lineman mind.
yeah,
So I became a fan of that, and that's probably about all I changed though. My alignment
yeah.
with D lineman. I like to go head up and slant.
And I'm gonna tell you, Jameer, when we first started coaching together, yeah, we were a four down type of defense.
Yeah,
And of
yeah,
recently, over the last 7 years, Jameer, I've switched over to a 34, but I've made it multiple where if I bring down my outside linebacker, it in essence turns into a nickel defense. Does that make sense? So I mean,
yeah.
it looks
I
more
do
like
the
a
same.
4-5, right? So I
Yeah,
mean, and yeah, I'm a big fan of you want the offensive line to think, and that's just how I look.
yeah,
That's the first thing. That's the first piece I look at when I watch film is what does their offensive line look like? And I mean,
right.
if they're slow, then and I know that I have quick guys offensively, then I know we're about to win. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
But I mean, because to me, the slanting game it just changes a whole lot because again, as you said, when they're head up, it kind of just offensive line don't know what you're going to do. They don't know if you're going bull. They don't know
yeah.
if you're
They don't
going
know what you're
small.
gonna do,
They don't know if
and
you're going.
They can't climb as easy to them backwards.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you this question. I know after we worked together, some changes happened at Johnson, and I ended up being the head coach, and you got promoted to defensive coordinator. Um,
Yeah,
so it didn't happen when you thought it was going to happen, but it did happen. So, and I
yeah,
think we were together for 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yeah.
because I had actually when I moved you to defensive coordinator, I actually went and was the head coach and called the offense. So you had full autonomy on what was going on over there. But let me ask you this: what were some of the biggest challenges and opportunities you face as as a defensive coordinator and running the whole defensive unit?
The first challenge was not to wreck the Porsche. That
Don't
pretty
crash,
Ferrari had. And
don't crash the car. That's right.
like you said earlier, most of them kids we had, all of them was all region. At least
Yeah,
8 of the 11 was all region,
yeah,
and returning starters.
yeah,
So the foundation was set. The foundation was set. I remixed it a little bit, added my little twist to a little things. And another challenge was getting those D linemen and LBs to buy in, because I was the
yeah,
secondary coach.
yeah.
So the secondary guys, they was happy. They was excited that I got promoted to DC. You know, them linebackers and them D linemen, they're like, oh, our guy, he the head coach now. He's the
And he,
OC.
and he's doing
So
offense.
I
He's not
had
even
to,
he's not even with us
so I had
anymore.
to,
Yeah,
I had to talk them into, I had to, make them buy in to,
yeah,
things it ain't gonna be a whole slip off.
yeah,
So that was a real challenge for me to get them to buy in, and they
hmm
bought in.
yeah. And to
Yeah,
me, I I remember one game in particular. We were playing beach, and I forget
yeah.
what you had called. I said, hey man,
It
what are
it
you
was
doing?
Saul.
And you
I know
said,
what you're
man,
talking about.
I'm about to run Saul. And I remember saying,
Yeah.
hey man, time out, time out, time out. I said, hey man,
I was
just
sending that heat.
yeah, just go
I think
gold
we got beat on it. I think we got beat on the blitz the play
earlier in the
before or
game.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah. And I'll never forget I had called timeout and I said, hey, we're not running Saul. And you had changed it to gold and to me it just that's the relationship that you and I had where hey, we got burned the first time, we might not want to do that this time, and let's try something different.
Right.
And it ended up paying off. So I mean, in the end, it made you look like you had made the correct call at the end of the day. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah. So I mean,
Yep. Yep.
I just didn't want to.
That's why it's good. That's why I always say it's good to have those OGs on staff to pipe them youngsters down. I was a youngster
Exactly.
back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
sometimes young coaches, I think their ego can sometimes be a hindrance to them coaching. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Yeah. They think they know a lot. They think they know everything when the game constantly evolving every
Yeah.
year.
Let me ask you this question, Jumir, because I just I think the game's changed a lot, and I'm sure you've seen some changes too. But do you think coaches are doing a good job developing players?
Ah, it depends on where you're located at. I believe. Like
Okay.
that blue collar school, like Johnson, like 2 years ago, I was coaching at North Clayton High School up here in Atlanta. They reminded me of like the Johnson in the Rockdale days.
Okay.
Coach, shout out to Coach Cap Burnett. Great,
Okay.
he teach. Great coach. His whole staff, Coach Nate over there, Coach G, and mainly Coach Cap though. They teach, they develop their players. They don't go get that ready-made player. They'll love every coach will love to have that.
Yeah.
But
I
over there,
mean,
they truly develop their kids over there and coach them up, teach them the right way.
yeah.
And I had fun over there. Wasn't
Yeah.
most fun I ever had, but it was close.
Yeah.
After Baldwin passed, coach, I ain't really even have a lot of fun coaching, but it
Yeah.
came close to it with Coach Cap over there at North Clayton. Shout out Coach Cap, that's my dog.
Okay. Well, my thing is, I feel like a lot of coaches, and as you alluded to earlier, as far as they want to have someone who's going to be ready made, but you still have to grind and you got to sustain a program. It's about building a program. It's not just about just getting players to play for that season, if that makes sense. I mean, to me,
Yeah,
you got to do a good job as far as developing. So when you get to the off season and we meet and I say, okay, so who do we got? And we should have guys that have had some time or have had a little bit of playing time where they have been in the mix of the fire of the game, if that makes sense. And then, when the season's over, it's time for them to be the guy. I think too many coaches are
Right.
looking for like the microwave player where I can just put this dude in there and boom, he pops out and he's ready to go. But to me, I
Yeah.
just feel like, coaches have got to really just develop your kids. Like, I mean,
Yes, a lot of
because
that
there's,
microwave stuff going on.
yeah, like, Jameer, it's just not real. That's not real to me. Like, to me,
Right.
real football is actually putting time in and developing somebody from the mud and just finding a way. And I look at some of the kids that we coach at Johnson. I mean, let me give you a prime example. John Doe, okay,
Yeah,
Jonathan
Robert.
Robert was a raw inside linebacker. We put some time into him, showed him some love, and then he ends up. I remember running into John Doe at a restaurant. He said, "Man, coach, I just want to let you know one of the best coaches I ever had, man." And
Yeah.
this is after,
And shit, Ross was the same way.
yeah, I
Ross was
mean,
Shaquille Ross was raw.
talk
He
about
ended
raw
up being
talent.
a
Yeah,
good corner.
exactly, exactly, and just a hard worker. But again, when you put time in the kids, you're going to get that return back, if that makes sense. I really believe
Yeah.
that as coaches, you've got to put the time in because eventually you're gonna reap the benefits of your labor. Uh, Let me ask you,
Right, right.
what do you, as far as like putting the time in with kids, how do you feel like how do you look at character building when it comes to kids and things of that nature?
Yeah, that's one of my big things, their character. And I got that from Coach Baldwin.
Okay.
One of his quotes was make sure you're always working on your character. Over time your body and will break down and your skills will slowly fade away, but your
Yeah.
character will always stay with you. That was one of
Always
his
stay.
quotes. I always preach that to the players. I preach that to my own children. I'm big on character and
Yeah.
prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer,
I agree.
work ethic, and not just praying and asking God for something, but I teach the kids when you pray, you have to work towards your prayer. Put in work, whatever you're praying for, put in the work to get there, and God will meet you halfway. Don't just
Yeah.
ask for something and think that shit gonna fall from the sky. Work
Yeah.
towards your
Yeah. I
goal, your
agree.
prayer.
And I think kids nowadays feel like it's too easy. It's too easy to do the wrong thing. And when I look at players now, I look at to see which players are going to do the right thing when no one's looking. You know, I mean, to
Right.
me, that says a
Yeah.
lot about your character too. It's easy to do the wrong thing, but it's harder to do the right thing when no one's looking. And I just believe, like, um, our kids have got to do a better job. To me, there's just too much stuff that's out there on social media and things of that nature. Do you think kids are they going through the same things that you went through when you were in high school, or has the game changed a little bit?
They they going through more. They going through way more.
Okay.
But I try to preach also to tell them, hey, you wake up every day with two things: a chance and a choice. So you
A
try to
chance and a
make great
chat.
choices and take the good risks. You're gonna have some
Yeah.
bumps here and there in the road because nobody perfect, but try to make great choices and take great chances because it's too
Yeah.
much devilish things out there, especially with the social media these days.
I
So I
agree.
try to just preach that to them. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I you
yeah,
know what I hate seeing on social media is people posting fights. I think that's the dumbest
yeah.
thing I've ever seen in my life. I just don't I don't see the I don't see the purpose in that. I just don't. I don't. I just don't. And I
Right.
feel like why are we doing that? I just put my hands up to the side. Maybe that's a sign of me just
Everybody
saying,
looking
hey,
for that viral moment, coach. They
I
looking for
think
that
so.
viral moment.
Yeah. My thing is, if you want to be viral, do something positive on the field. That to me, it makes more
Huh?
sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
but
understand that.
today, today they like the day's world. They like the negativity more,
Yeah,
the hate
yeah,
that get the more attention. They want all the likes. They like the likes.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
the
so
likes. It's almost like the likes make them relevant. Does that make sense?
right,
You know,
yeah.
if I don't get the likes, I'm not relevant in the world, and I don't know. It just let me answer that. Let me answer this. What are some of the most important life lessons that you've tried to teach your players?
That's the main thing. Character. What we were saying. Character, prayer,
Okay.
have a relentless work ethic, and discipline. Showing up
Yeah.
when you don't feel like it. There's
Yeah.
gonna be times in your life when you on that job. Once you get in the working world, you gotta go handle your
Life
business.
is
Be
going to be the
accountable.
same way. That's right. Life is going to be the same way.
Yeah,
You
but you're
know,
gonna learn
and you know,
them. You're gonna learn that stuff from the game of football, though. That's why they
I
like to
agree.
compare football to life. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Let me ask you this. Looking back on your coaching journey, what accomplishments are you most proud of? And what advice would you give coaches who are just getting started in the coaching profession?
I'm most proud of the bonds I created with certain players off the field.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Ross. Ross, like, he'll text me Happy Father's Day. He'll text me when something going wrong. He'll text me with a promotion on the job or something.
Yeah.
Shout out David Giante McMillan up here at Rockdale. He actually he played with the University of Minnesota last year. Got him an invite to Indianapolis Colts. He's currently going through OTAs with Indianapolis Colts. He stopped by
Nice.
the house before he left.
Okay.
Stopped by my house to see me, kick it with me for a few. I like those bonds. I like
Yeah.
them bonds. Years later when they come and just holler at me or see me. Shout out LaVar from Rockdale. There's plenty of kids, cause
Yeah.
young coaches getting in the game. I just have to tell them, hey man, get your listen to your OGs. I wouldn't suggest a whole young staff. Mix it up
No.
with some OGs on the staff to pipe you down when
Yeah.
you need to be piped down. Listen, don't
Pipe down.
disrespect. Don't disrespect your coaches on the field. You got something to say, take it to the coach's office.
Yeah.
Hey man, just have fun and just continue to learn because the game gonna evolve every year. Go to coaching clinics, pick
I
up some
agree.
knowledge.
I agree.
Yeah,
And one thing I've always told coaches, like when you go to a clinic, just find one thing that you can bring back to the program. Does that make sense? Like you can't go to a clinic and
yeah,
say, "Oh yeah, I found five things," and it's you're not going to get to all five in one season. It's just not going to happen. And then the thing about it is, you just don't have enough time throughout the year to do that. So I mean, why would I
right.
implement five things when I can definitely implement one and and be great at that? But yeah, I mean, I just definitely have to do that. I got to give a big shout out to, and I know he was part of where you coached up there in Rockdale. I got to give a big shout out to Jermichael Baldwin because I mean,
Yes, sir.
Jermichael I saw recently is being a grad assistant at Savannah State, and
Yeah, he's
big
working
shout
with the
out to him,
receivers.
man. Yeah, yeah. How was he?
Yep, love
How was he
ball.
at Rockdale?
No, I got that a year after he played his senior year playing in Rockdale, but he was electric. He was electric.
Yeah,
I checked him out a few. He was electric at Rockdale.
I saw a
I
clip.
talked actually. I came down there. I came down to Savannah about a week or two ago to a camp
Okay,
they was having, and I talked with him a lot. He on staff. He enjoying the coaching journey right now. He gonna be a
yeah,
good one. Jamaica gonna be a
I
great. It's in
agree.
his blood.
It's
He
in
gonna
his
be a good
blood.
one.
He came from a great man with Jamie. I can definitely say that.
Yeah.
But I had to say big shout out to Jermichael Baldwin because I mean he's a real one. He's a real one. Let me ask you this, Coach. And let's do this as like a two-part question. So here's the first part. Uh, Of course, the name of my show is called Put Me In Coach Podcast. So, what was your Put Me In Coach moment as a player?
Okay. Put me coach moment as a player. My senior year of high school at Johnson High. I'm the quarterback. We're going against Savannah High. We
Okay.
in a back and forth battle. Uh, Savannah High quarterback at the time, Bakari Bryant, who's an excellent basketball coach now.
Shout out to
But he was
Jakari
picking
Bryant.
our secondary apart. Yeah, he picking the secondary apart. I remember going up to the defensive back coach, Coach Al Pellegrino. Rest in peace, Coach. Rest in peace, Coach Pellegrino. He passed a
Yeah.
couple years ago. But I remember going up to him. I said, Coach, man, put me in that corner. Let me guard him. He turned around, looked back at me, Coach. He said, all summer, I was asking you to come work with the DBs. And what you told me? You told me no. Use a quarterback. So he looked at me, he said, your answer now is no. Sit down, you a quarterback. I was like, God damn, Coach. So I never got in without one of my put me coaching moments as a
Yeah.
player.
And so, that's kind of funny because, you want your opportunity to get in the game, and this guy turns around and says, no, you're not going in. Go sit down
Right.
somewhere. Get out of my face. I don't even want to hear it. Let me ask you this. What was your put me in coach moment as a coach?
As a
Or
coach, I said
has,
coaching with you.
has a player come up to you, throughout your career and say, hey, coach, man, put me in.
Sort of, yeah. Coaching with you, going against Pierce County, Coach, in a tight
Okay.
game. I think it was Raekwon Cooper who was at corner, and he went down with an injury, a knee injury, I believe,
I
or
remember
something.
that. Yeah.
Cooper Ross.
Yeah.
I think it was Coop. Coop went down with an injury, but I really had no one else to put at corner. And I remember
Yeah.
Daryl. Daryl was the star receiver. Daryl, they're like, put me in that corner. I'm like,
Yeah.
Daryl, man, you don't know no coverages, you don't know what to do in the coverage call. But we end up putting Daryl Myers in that corner. He played decent for the most part, but I think he was sleeping on one play and he ended up getting beat late
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter on the touchdown.
Yeah.
But I like,
And I'm
God
gonna tell
damn
you,
it, end up,
we should have beat them jokers too, man. I mean,
yeah.
what was it 14-6? I think was the final score
It was
14.
real close. It was close, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, darn. And I was against
Yeah, we
Pendon,
had
and
shut that
I
offense
did.
down.
Yeah, that was
Now, I want to say,
we had
like,
fun.
prior to us playing them, I want to say Pierce County put up like 40 points, like 3 weeks straight
Yeah,
coming into us.
they were good.
We
Yeah,
held
they
them
were
to
good.
14. Yeah, that was good.
They were good. And that's just been our mo as far as coach. I mean, I can tell you one thing. We coached our kids hard, and our kids gave us back the return and played hard uh, every snap. And I tell you one thing, we worked hard in that weight room too. You remember that weight room?
Oh, yeah.
Hard work
Oh,
there,
yeah.
baby.
Yes, sir. When they put them on that
Everything.
whistle.
That's right.
We had that
Everything was on
same
the
reach.
whistle, bro.
Yeah, we did the
Yeah,
same
that's
thing
right.
at Rockville, Coach.
Okay.
Me and Coach Ball, we put them on that whistle, Coach.
I don't see any other way in doing the weight room. You just you. My thing is you teach discipline as far as doing things the right way. Um, I'm hoping that in the next year or two, when I take this year off, that I have an opportunity to run my own weight room. So that's why I'm going back and working on my second master's degree now in health and human performance, because I really want to take over a weight room and get kids developed that way. But let me ask you, I gotta ask you this question, Jumir. Like, what when you tell me your experience as a coach, because you've done high school and college, so I
Yeah,
remember that one
yeah,
time
yeah.
I had contacted you, and you were like, "Yeah, man, we got a game against Brigham Young," and I'm like, "What?" And then you show me the
Oh, yeah,
picture, and I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
"What the frick is that Brigham Young?" I could like that stadium was huge.
oh,
Tell me
yeah.
what it was like coaching at the collegiate
On that
level at
level.
Savannah State. Yeah.
Yeah, I coached 2 years at Savannah State, actually.
Okay.
The 2014 season, 2015, under head coach, Coach Wilson. But I learned a lot from on the defensive side of the ball as far as developing D linemen. 'Cause I was under
Yeah.
one of the best, Coach Jonas Jackson. That's
Shout out to
actually
Coach
family
Jonas
to me.
Jackson. Yep. Good dude.
Yeah, he's currently at Delaware State now as the recruiting coordinator and D-line coach. But he taught me a lot about the fundamentals and hand placement of D linemen. That was my first time actually working with D linemen, and it actually became one
Yeah.
of my favorite positions to coach. So
Yeah.
yeah, I learned a lot as far as working with Coach Jackson with the D linemen.
That's one
Actually,
position I haven't coached
that,
yet. I've done everything else
that's,
except D line. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I got to
yeah, I
learn
learned
the
a lot
nuances
coaching,
of that
teaching
position.
the position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this: since you were at Savannah State coaching, and you and I, when I was there in the early 2010s, like Savannah State football really wasn't that good, and there was a lot of coaching changes going on at that time. And I'm sure you saw it
yeah,
as well. But I mean, my thing
yeah.
is, do you feel like Savannah State has gotten better over the years? And if that is, why is it because of where they're recruiting? Because I remember when I was there in the early tens of 2000, they were really making an effort as far as getting players from North Georgia and bringing them down to South
North
Georgia.
Georgia,
I just don't really think it
yeah.
worked
That's
out.
when they
But what do you?
yeah, when they was in that, that's when they was in the MEAC, I believe. When they was in that
Yeah,
MEAC, that, that one double A, it was kind of tough. I believe they turning the corner now that they back in what is it, the SIAC. They in that with Fort
yeah,
Valley and they playing on their level now. They playing on
yeah,
their
yeah,
level, so I believe they got a chance to compete. But they do need to recruit more hometown kids. I believe
yeah.
you got to lock down your hometown. I think that's a
Where
must
where
from for
where where
me.
are the where are the hotbeds in Savannah to recruit? Which schools?
I would say Jenkins. From
Yeah,
what
for
I
sure.
see, Jenkins, BC, Calvary.
Yeah,
It might, that private school done took over down there in Savannah,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
have to go to, but they have to treat that whole like even down your way, Brunswick, Camden. They got to treat all that like it's Savannah, that low country.
yeah.
You need to
Let
recruit
me.
all of South Georgia.
Do you do you think football is different in North and South? And what are the things that you think is defining
Uh,
aspects of the type
I
of
believe it's
player?
probably almost it's about on the same it's about on the same level now. When I first moved up here, it was faster up in the Atlanta metro area. It was
What
more
about
speed up
toughness?
here. Again, depending on your schools where you're at, because you got them tough
Yeah,
schools. Like in Savannah, to be exact, I wouldn't even compare the South to Atlanta Metro. I just say Savannah versus the Atlanta Metro because I know more about Savannah. But them blue collar schools, the public schools in Savannah, are sort of like I said, like the North, like Clayton County up here.
got you.
Clayton County and
Got
Savannah about on the same
About the
level
same.
of
Yeah,
ball
I
of
got what
playing
you.
ball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Jumir, I wanted to say thank you
Yeah.
again for coming out and being part of Put Me In Coach podcast. And I know one thing. You know one thing about me. If it
Yes,
ain't,
sir.
if it ain't right, we're about to get things right. You dig what I'm trying to say? So I mean,
Yes, sir.
I do appreciate you. Hey, there he goes again. Hey, got that green apple Ciroc. You know.
Yes, sir.
Hey, give me a
Shout out,
phone.
man. Shout out to you, coach.
I
Appreciate you
appreciate
for
it.
bringing me on, coach.
Hey
Shout
man,
out
give
my
me.
boy, Coach Chappelle,
Go
one
ahead.
of my students, Coach Chappelle, Coach Nick, Coach Williams at Burkmont, Coach Moreland, Coach Cap. Shout out them boys, man. I fuck with them boys, man. Them my boys. Seafolk to the
Hey,
bone, baby. Can Park, CPG,
CPG,
Hilltop, baby.
yeah.
Yes,
Hey
sir.
man, big shout out to everybody that Jumir just said to gave a shout out to in Savannah. Want to say thank you again for tuning in and watching Put Me In Coach podcast. Look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks with our next guest. Don't know who it's going to be, so be ready for it. But until then, peace.
Yes, sir.